My name's Jo Kiminade and I'm talking to John Knorr, CEO and founder of SIS Business Systems. This is the first in a series of interviews about Uglii systems and services. Today we're going to discuss the big picture concept of Uglii. John, what is Uglii and why is it important?
I think to understand Uglii, I need to describe the situation that we're in at the moment. And the best way to do that is to understand the benefits that the internet has brought industry or businesses around the world. Keeping in mind, of course, that the internet is unevenly delivering its benefits. Some businesses get a lot of benefits and others get minimal or no benefits. So let's look at where we're at with the internet. The internet provides us with the things that excite me as a businessman are the ability to communicate with people that are online or have an email address. That's very exciting. The ability to shift big amounts of information around the planet, which is very exciting. The ability to do transactions easily and securely, that's also extremely exciting. And for some businesses, discovery is a significant benefit of the internet. Unfortunately, those benefits are really only available to businesses that can afford them or that are smart enough to get them. Now, where Uglii comes into this process is to make discovery benefits available to every business and every government department right across the world, regardless of their size or their wealth or their geographic location or their specialisation. So we're anticipating that we can deliver a change of significance to every business on the planet.
John, when you say discovery, do you mean via website or from a business directory or both?
When we're talking about discovery, I'm talking about it in general, but it can mean through a directory system or a search engine, and also by having a website. A website's a fantastic thing, of course, for a business to have because it allows easy distribution of information to the people who access that website. So you can have thousands of people looking at the same information and being able to access that and navigate through it. So that's a very important advantage that's already delivered to a lot of businesses. Our slogan is every business, every country. And what we're endeavouring to do is provide the ability for every business on the planet to be discoverable through our system, regardless of its wealth or its location
or its size.
Or its size, yeah. What we're talking about is a fairly big shift in the situation where most businesses don't get discovery advantage from the internet.
At the moment.
At the moment. The way we're doing that is we're dividing that into two processes. One is getting business information in order. Now, at present, around the world, there are thousands of online directories, and those online directories have different standards for search and different processes of describing businesses, and so on and so on. So it's really a mess. Search engines make some profit out of that mess effectively by being able to deliver discovery for businesses that have got the smarts to understand those processes and have got the money so that they can afford to pay for those processes. But it basically leaves every other business on the planet without proper discovery, and businesses and governments and all sorts of organisations right across the planet. So what our system is doing is putting those information structures in place so that we can have a standard global information structure and have standard global search processes for that information. Now, the first part of that is what we call Uglii Brands, which is a system that by which we have described, at the moment, we have described 700,000 products and services.
Right.
And those products and services are, of course, or those descriptions of products and services are translatable into any number of languages. So a user in Russia can look into China and see that information, or somebody in...
And it's standard globally.
It's standard globally.
Right.
So every country has the same taxonomy of business information under our arrangements.
Right.
That means that every brand that provides a product or service can go into that taxonomy and list in that taxonomy under the appropriate product or service. What we're really doing is then allowing each of those brands to add to that taxonomy, say their own models of that product. Okay, so we've got a multi-tiered system of information, and that's backed up by a number. The importance of that, of course, is that that provides an encyclopedia of the economy, every economy, so we can know what products and services and indeed what brands of each product and service is available in that economy. So we've advanced a long way.
Sure.
Our other ugly system that is in the directory space is a process called Uglii Find. Now that allows for spatial discovery, which meaning geographic discovery, of anything anywhere on the planet. So it's a very powerful process, and searches can be done as intimately, so as close to you or your business or your household as you want, or as extensively, as far away, a bigger area as you want.
So you put in your own geographical parameters that
Yeah,
you want?
Absolutely. So it might be where I am with my mobile phone, or it might be where my house is. If I'm looking for a product or service that's relevant for my house. If it's for my business, of course, it can be where my business is located, or a project that I'm on as a business. So if I'm in the construction industry, I might have a building site, then I can locate my Uglii point.
Sure.
And do searches from that point. So the system is infinitely flexible, which means it is very powerful. It also means that it is very powerful for local search, and local search is the holy grail of search.
Right.
Because most business transactions happen at a fairly local level. If you think that you might wander down Main Street, most businesses in Main Street of your town or suburb or city are really doing fairly local business. That, of course, is where most business transactions happen. On the other hand, our systems can search as extensively and as flexibly as the user wants them to search. The combination of those two facilities of very high specificity in terms of defining the product or service, or even the brand of product or service that I want, and the ability to search very accurately, geographically for that brand, is an extremely powerful search process. And we think it's the ultimate form of search for businesses. That's what they need, and as far as we're concerned, this is the ultimate, most powerful search system on the planet for business information.
Sure.
The second part of that process that we're introducing is what we call spatial marketplace systems, and they are built on the basis of the information that we will have gathered about businesses in the directory part of our systems. Now they're important because they allow a user, whether it's a person or a business, to request offers from their geographic location effectively.
So it's interactive effectively?
Well, it's totally interactive. It allows me to use my mobile phone to make a request for an offer. It doesn't matter where I am, the system knows where that person is. Or if I'm a business, I can make a request for an offer for inputs to my business. It also allows suppliers, businesses, to define the catchments, the geographic catchments into which they want to supply. Now that's very important because I can be a business that's very keen on selling my product and service, but I'm physically constrained from selling it much beyond my town or
Sure.
a state or a county or a province or whatever it may be, or my country. And I don't want offers to be made to potential purchasers in the next country or around the world. Our system allows that business to define the catchment or catchments that they want to market into very precisely and very flexibly, so that a business can say, look, I only want to do business on this side of the river because the river's a barrier I don't want to cross, or I want to be on this side of a freeway or whatever it may be, or this border. I don't want to go across that border into that next door neighbouring country, whatever it may be. Or the catchment can include multiple countries,
Right.
or the whole world, or part of another country, and so on. So as a supplier, I can be very, very precise about the areas into which I want to make offers for the products and services that another business or a consumer wants.
So the combination of those two processes could be phenomenally powerful.
Well, they are phenomenally powerful because it means that offers can be made very accurately to the people that want what I sell,
Sure.
and they can even be qualified so that even the payment processes can be qualified by the purchaser. So if the purchaser says, look, I want to use a credit card, or I want to use this particular credit card, the system will only make offers to that business that are available from the businesses that accept that credit card, that are merchants of that credit card. So it's a very, very powerful system.
And obviously very simple then, it's simplified. You're not having to wade through loads of information that's not relevant to you.
Absolutely. It cuts out the crap. It reduces the request to something very precise. I can be very precise because I can define the product or service or brand of product or service that I want. Even the model of a product, I can define that too. And I can get offers from anybody on the planet that wants to make those offers to me. So the importance of that, of course, is that as a buyer, I'm being made offers by all of the businesses on the planet that can supply me. Now, the problem with search processes and directories is that the process of search is my judgment about whom I think might be able to supply that product or service to me. The benefits of our systems, our spatial marketplace systems, the Uglii spatial marketplace systems, is that I am fairly well assured that I'm being made offers by everybody on the planet that wants to provide me with that product or service. So in particular, in terms of business inputs, I'm probably getting a much wider range and much more competitive range of offers to provide the product or service that I want. Okay, so it's very powerful indeed.
So John, are these services available to every business?
Yeah, Joe, the idea is that every business that's a legitimate business in the economy of every country can sign up and register with our system and avail themselves of those benefits. Now, some of those benefits are free, such as the ability to be discovered is free for every business and every government everywhere. The idea is that we bring the whole world up a fairly big step in terms of discoverability of all businesses.
Sure.
There are other free benefits too. So if I'm a business and I'm needing inputs to my business, which of course every business has, it's got inputs, then I can go into that Uglii marketplace systems and request the offers that I want for my business inputs. So I can immediately get the benefit of probably reducing my costs of doing business by having a greater range of offers available to me and a competitive range of offers to me. So from every business's point of view, the world should be much more efficient with these processes. These processes are available not just to people who've got laptop computers and ordinary desktop computers. They're available on mobile phones, and of course mobile phones have now penetrated just about everywhere on the planet where a person wants one. So businesses have got this incredible ability now to get discovered and to get competitive offers for their inputs. So we think those benefits alone are going to make a huge difference to the global economy and the economy of each country that our systems penetrate. As well as that, businesses can buy our services. We've got about 46 services that businesses can pay for. We're not a charity, but we're providing that free infrastructure because we have very high expectations that a lot of businesses are going to buy some of our other services, and that pays our bills.
And they can be as simple as a link to a website or something along those lines?
Yeah, that's right. So very easily understood benefits by businesses.
Sure.
There's also services for very sophisticated businesses. For example, there's services for credit card systems and telcos and industry organisations and governments, which are beyond the reach or beyond the needs of most businesses. But there's probably 5 or 6 services that every business on the planet can buy and every business can afford.
Sure.
Now, we've structured our fees so that we keep our services affordable in each market. So, for a first-class economy, in other words, a developed, industrialised economy.
Yep.
Services might be $1. In the middle tier of economies, they might be 60 cents, and in the bottom tier, 40 cents. So what we're trying to do is make every service that we've got affordable for every business that needs our services anywhere in the world.
So John, if I was a business, you've got your systems offer 46 services. How do I know what's relevant for me and that I'm not buying a service that isn't relevant?
Joe, our systems are very smart. When a business registers in our system, we learn a fair bit about that business.
Sure.
Okay. And we know which services they're not going to want generally. So we tell businesses, don't buy this service, it's not for you. And we also glean from what happens in our system about those services, whether or not they should be buying one or more of our system services. So we can basically tell a business individually, look, you'll get some benefit out of having this service, or we'll tell them equally whether they shouldn't.
So does the system do this automatically?
Automatically.
That's very smart.
It's got access to all this information. It knows what things are being searched for. It knows where that business is appearing in the results. So it will offer that business appropriate services. We've got no interest in oversupplying services. We want businesses to come in and be comfortable about our services and buy them year after year after year. Of course. So that's a very important philosophical position.
Yep.
Now, the other thing that we should talk about is how we have structured the rollout of our systems around the world. We have global partners that are pushing the system out, and they can appoint what we call national partners, and the national partners can appoint affiliates. Only affiliates can join businesses into the system, and to become an affiliate, an organisation or an individual needs a website and a domain name. That's about all they need.
Right.
But they can earn very significant commissions from our system because our system splits the revenues we receive fairly equally between marketing, in other words, half of the revenue that we bring in is apportioned out to our partners, and production. Half of the revenue is for our costs and our profit. So the system is really about bringing in organisations that have a relationship with many businesses, or even individuals that want to build a relationship with many businesses. The system's affiliates technologies are very, very smart, and they can cater for the largest industry organisation or telco or postal system as an affiliate, or even somebody walking around with a laptop and that enjoys going and saying hello to business and getting them on board the system.
Right.
So it's very, very powerful. It's fairly simple. Our systems are automated, so there is no real processes for anybody other than the business registering. It's got to do a few things about its registration process, tell us some information about what it does and how it wants to be discovered, and then from there on everything's automated.
Thanks, John. That's very interesting. Now, there's a range of other interviews we have for people that are interested in Uglii if they go to uglii.com.
Joe, we're slowly building a wide range of pages about the systems, and there'll be other interviews, of course, that deal with specific aspects of the systems and specific aspects of the Uglii Coalition. What we're talking about here is a system that is available to all sorts of organisations to profit from. It's not just about us, it's about all sorts of organisations. And there are lots of different opportunities, and they all present themselves slightly differently. Depends on the industry that we're talking about, it depends on the services that we're talking about as well. So yeah, we're building a fairly big menu of papers and discussions that people can access at uglii.com.
Thanks, John. I look forward to hearing a lot more about it from you.
Thanks, Joe.